coming into a school year this year for my seventh graders, some of them weren't in middle school at all last year. So this is their first year of middle school in seventh grade. And, that's always in the back of all of our minds. Actually, it's in the forefront of our minds. And we want to make sure that we're being sensitive to everything that our students and our families are going through.
We were faced with a lot of different situations that students were struggling. Some were situations that we dealt with only to a higher level of intensity. Students had traumatic situations that occurred, and they also had heightened anxiety from other things that happened while being on quarantine and while dealing with the effects of some things that happened in our society. So I think the biggest thing was meeting students where they were.
So to come back into a building 2 years later, and for some a year later, and to jump right back into the routine, yes, we talk a lot about how we support those students that are struggling to do that, but we definitely need to recognize that our students have developed a lot of resiliency as well through this pandemic.
The good news is that we have a great supportive team, and we utilize a lot of teachers, administrators, collaboration from other stakeholders in the community. We've relied heavily on our student assistance program and some connections we have with outside agencies, because we are seeing a higher level of students that have more mental health things going on.
We really take a lot of pride in instilling self-advocacy. We want students to be able to ask for things they need, and that's really hard for a lot of students. They may not feel comfortable going and telling one particular teacher, I need help with this problem, and may not feel like they have the time during a hectic school day to be able to do that. So, we practice with them asking for help. And when a student asks us for help, which they often do, we tell them that's exactly how you ask for help. And then we hope that they will go and then do that in their classroom or with a parent or another loved one that's important to them in their life.
I think it has been very, very beneficial for them to be back in front of their teachers and with their peers, not only to assist with the academic, but also the social piece as well. It's affected them. This year in particular, I am so proud of some of my students who were struggling academically virtually last year. And I know Mr. Siegel and Ms. Sayer can say the same, and how well they are doing now that they're back to in-person instruction.
Recently, we've really taken on a lot of additional technology that's really made our jobs a lot better. We have what's called the Go Guardian, where kids can now send us chat messages, which they do all the time. And instead of actually coming and going and filling out a paper like they used to do, that's a really good way that students are able to, ask to see a counselor. So, we make sure in the beginning of the year that they know how to do that.
We are definitely offering our support and continued support in finding resources for those who are not coping as well as others. But the amount of students that have shown resiliency through everything that has affected them personally, their lives, their school lives, and their home and family lives is tremendous. I think we owe a lot of that to our fabulous community and staff, and especially our parents.
Coming back into the school, we had expectations. They were ever changing. We had rules, and I think the students did well with it. And I think the key is just having routines, having set expectations, reinforcing them, and having plans for students that struggle.
We're really just trying to meet, the developmental levels of middle school students.
So I think we're continuing to do things like social emotional learning, but it's really teaching those skills in the moment. We do a lot of conflict resolution.
And it's very important to just have those open conversations with our kids. That's the best way. We always, as counselors, encourage our kids to reach out to trusted adults here at school, but also to always reach out to their parents as well, and that they're going to be one of their biggest supports.